Welcome to this look at new mods on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. It's Thursday the 1st of June, new month, new mods. I've got a couple here in front of me. We've had a couple of mods on console that came out over the last few days. One on one day, one a couple of days later, and then today's mod. So I've rolled them all into one. We've got one update today, the Lizard Turntable Ladder 23 12cc by NRX Eki and Sosai Modding has had an update. In front of me we've got the Claas VOLTO 60 by AgrarDesignAustria, 15.08 megabytes download, 10 slots on console, 5.8 meters wide. This is a Tedder with a few different options on it. Nicely made, very intricately detailed, as you can see. You'll find it on tools and Tedders. 13 grand, slot count comes down to 1, 30 horsepower required, that's all, which is pretty cool. On the back we've got one support arm, you can have a double support arm, you can have ground wheel mounted or back to the single. And then we've got warning signs, no, yes, with lights, or off again. The weight set balls at the side there for connects onto the 3-point link, yes or no. And then main colour, this does these parts of the rims, actual main attaching points. We have them grey, or we can have Claas green. The supports on that side, so the hubs themselves stay red, but the actual attachments, like a Spitfire wheel really, attaching on one side. Anyway, just sort of throw it out there. Unfold. And it turns, which is what it's supposed to do. Still love the tedding animation. I know I say every time I do tedding. I don't know why, it surprises me every time, but I think it's a lovely thing to behold. There's no options other than that, I don't think. Like sometimes you can twist them one way or the other to avoid fences and that kind of stuff. But as far as I can tell, that is it for the Claas VOLTO 60 by AgrarDesignAustria. Next we've got the Sp8 by stephane modding. This is 4.84 megabytes download, 4 slots on console, and it's a Bale trailer. It's not an auto-load Bale trailer or anything like that, just a standard Bale trailer with tension straps. It looks as well like, I don't know if I was imagining it, but if you get up on the top here, the tension straps go at an angle. They're not perpendicular to the sides, they slightly angle, which gives you that more feeling of like a homemade trailer, you know? I don't know. I thought it did. So this you'll find on the Bale loaders. Just there, 11 grand. We have got the option of Trelleborg, BKT, Michelin, Vredestein, back again. No options within those, just those 4 choices. Then we got design standard or with extensions, rim colour, anything on that palette, and a license plate option on there too. When you connect up, the blocks disappear. When you disconnect, the blocks reappear. The Sp8 by stephane modding. Next, we have this, the Lizard MMT by VuleX, 2.99 megabytes download, 3 slots on console, 1.8 meters wide, 40 horsepower required. There are no options on this once you've purchased it. It is a mulcher, narrow enough at 1.8 meters that you can go between vineyards and olive groves if you need to mulch between them, but it will mulch. That's its main purpose in life. You'll find it under mulchers. Out in the end, 2,500. Slot count comes down to 1. As I said, no options on it. And there you go. Nice bit of vibration on the PTO there. The Lizard MMT by VuleX. Turn off. Lower it down and drop it off. Next, over here, we have got the Lizard Bulent 40 by KAYAMODS. It's a cultivator, 12.97 megabytes download. It is 8 slots, 3.8 meters wide. Also no options on this, but you will find it under cultivators just there. 9,500, slot count comes down to 1. 95 horsepower required. So, unfold. Almost no sounds. It's just incredibly well greased and good to go. So, 3.8 meters. This is not a shallow cultivator, as you can see. Nice bit of dust coming up. Sound on this while it's moving, a little bit of clanking, a little bit of squeaking while we're moving. There you go. That's the Lizard Bulant 40 by KAYAMODS. Next, we've got the AGRO-MASZ Falcon 3 Plus by JMZ. Just here. This is 12.59 megabytes download, 12 slots on console, 4.5 meters wide. This is a planter, not a seeder. So it does your planting crops. It does have a fertilizer tank and a seed tank. The fertilizer tank is considerably larger actually. The seed tank's only 300 litres and the solid fertilizer is 1,200. We do have ridge markers as well. You'll find it under planters. Just there, 20 grand, 130 horsepower required to pull it, 6 miles an hour it will run at. Slot count comes down to 1. We've got the option for tyres, Trelleborg or BKT. No options within those, just those two choices. So, start it up, cover open. So the cover open only does the fertiliser, but you can whichever way you fill your seeders up. But the cover will only do the fertiliser section. You can't open the boxes for the seed, but you can fill them up directly. And then you've got your option to select your crop type, whether it be corn, sunflower, soybean, sugar beet, cotton, or back again. Ridge markers, left, right, or back up again. This is not a direct drill, so you will need to have cultivated first. Turn it on, drop it down. And away we go. It's all fairly straightforward stuff today. Makes life a little bit easier, doesn't it? The AGRO-MASZ Falcon Plus. Sorry, Falcon 3 Plus by JMZ. Very nice indeed. Another very nicely detailed mod. Next. We've got this. I'm not going to lie, I don't like these very much. This is the 5-round Bales trailer by WOLFex modding and WhiteBull modding. 3.82 megabytes download, 3 slots on console. I can't remember what the name of it was originally when we first had one of these. I'm thinking it was FS22 when we first got mods on console. Now this does say it will pick up bales from 110 centimetre to 180. So I've got a selection out going from 125, got some 150s and some 180s. I've already picked up 2 just to show you. It has got straps inside as well, so when you've gone along and picked them up off the ground, you raise the thing back up if you've got them strapped down. And when you get to where you're going, you drop it down under the straps, open the back up, and you can drive away and you can leave yourself a nice neat row. The only downside I've always found to these is they're not very forgiving at the collection end. The other thing I found with this one, depending on what tyres you've got in your tractor, if you've got twins or narrow twins, if they're sticking out quite a way, when this opens up it doesn't always come out far enough, so you need to bear that in mind with what tractor you're going to put it with. And also if you swing round, let me try this here, if I swing around to the right, that here caught on the tyre and had a tendency to flick the thing out in the air. It's just a case of being careful with it, that's all, and just practice, I guess, is the best thing to suggest. Which often when I'm doing a mod review, you don't always have a lot of time to practice with them. before you've got to show people how they work. Anyway, £9 is what it will cost you. Slot count will come down to 1. Options, we can change the main colour to anything on that palette. Rim colour, also anything on that palette. And there's a license plate option too. So, I'll start that up. I will unfold it. So when you unfold the trailer, it puts it out to the side. Like I say, it's fine with it with this narrow twins, but it would be better with singles because we are very close to where we need to be. As we can see, we've got tension straps on the moment, but if I lower the trailer, which is where you want it to be for collection and then for dropping off, if I undo the tension straps, like so, and then the back opens L1 and right stick up and down, I do that, and then drive forward, I can leave my bales, see what I mean? There's no way of tilting that any other way. That doesn't want to leave that behind. Come on, go away. So I'm not sure about larger bales, you know. If I close that back down again, that's what I mean about it. It requires practice, and I've the same as like the Arcusin 4 stack and those kind of things. It's not particularly forgiving. So we've got a very small bale at the front. It's still lowered. You need to line it up just right to get it within those two little prongs, even with it down on the ground. You catch it even slightly, and it will not like it. So just bear that in mind. When you get to the back, you can strap it if you want to. Puts all the straps on, but you don't have to. You can just drag them on behind. So next one we've got then is I think it's a 150, which it says it will do. How can it? That doesn't make any sense. It definitely says with a diameter of 1.10 metre up to 1.8 metre, you can load 5 bales. Yeah, it's not going to do anything bigger than that. There's no way it can pick that up. I'm saying it will do 125 centimetre bales, but it's not going to do bigger than, see what I mean? If I catch that on the tyre, it kicks it around. Just be aware of that. Yeah, so then go to the smaller bale sizes. It won't do larger bale sizes. Let's do the tension straps. Open that back up again. Yeah, it's not, because when you lower it, it lowers at the front, which is fine for picking up, and then we raise it. I'm just trying to see if there's an option. I'll close that down. There's not an option to tilt it, is there? No, because I would think if you were going to lower the trailer to unload, you're going to want to tilt it backwards, or at least have it level. Otherwise, those bales are going to catch, aren't they? I suppose it also depends what height it's attached. Anyway, like I said, it will require a bit of practice. But that's the 5-round bales trailer by WOLFex modding and WhiteBull modding. Moving on from there, we have these, the Samson SG TGX by Smety, 15.25 megabytes to download. We've got the SG 28, which is 8 slots. We've got the TGX, which is 7 slots. The SG version is designed to work with the Claas Xerion 4000-5000 series. The standard in-game one, or Giants did an anniversary edition, which I think this one might be. And then the TGX is designed to work with the saddle tracks. Now Smety's done a saddle track. There's the saddle track pack as well, if you've got that as a DLC. So the TGX is designed to work with the saddle track, and then that one's designed to work with the others because of the size and shape of the tank itself. I think both of them are 28,000 litres, and these aren't slurry spreaders in their own right. They do have a 3-point link on the back and are designed to work with various different rear attachments. Now, because of the width of them as well, these don't work. I couldn't get them to hook up to, but if we go into slurry tanks, I'll show you. Where are we? Booms. So something like that, the Bomec, and that one there. and the Samson SPH4 were just a little bit too narrow. These are open, well, I mean a little bit wider. I just struggled to get to attach. They're designed primarily to work with these, which are rear attach mounted with various different cultivators, drag hoses, drip hoses, and there are modded versions and things like that. Actually, while we're in here, probably not a bad idea to have a look at them, is it? So the SG 28 slot count, as I said, was 8, comes down to 1. 250 horsepower required. It will run at 10 miles an hour, slurry or digestate. We've got the option of Trelleborg with a standard or a wide, Michelin, standard or a wide, Mitres, just that, Nokian with narrows, Vredestein, just like that, Continental, BKT, back to Trelleborg. So then we've got the option for attacher type at the front. If you've got a Xerion 3000, again I think it's a modded version of that, then 4000, 5000 puts that boom out a lot further because it's a bigger tractor. So those are your options depending on what tractor you're using. Main colour, anything on that palette. Rim colour, anything on that palette. And license plate option there as well. And then the TGX for the saddle tracks, again Trelleborgs with the standard and wide, Michelin with the standard and wide, and I'm pretty sure all the others are the same. Mitres, Nokian, Vredestein, Continental, BKT, and back again. Main colour options the same, rim colour options the same, and license plate option as well. So what we'll do, let's jump in that, start it up. So it should come up with the option to cut. There you go. These, I have to say, I don't know what it is today. I don't know whether I'm just not more focused, but I think because there's not as many mods, you've got more time to sort of take the time to have a look at them in a lot more detail. But again, really nicely detailed mods. We do have the option on this for that bit of immersion for when you're collecting your slurry or digestate, especially from a pool or a tank or something like that. L1 and right stick up and down, side to side, we can do that and that, and then right stick up and down does that, and in and out does that, so you can simulate collecting if you wish. Don't have to use that. We can overload as well with it. Just get into the right position, there we go. Do have beacons on it as well, so if I then back up to Bomek, and we'll unfold that. Is it Bomek or Samson? I can't remember which one it is. So this is a drag hose. But the great thing with these, because of the fact that the way they attach, very tight turning circles on them. I mean, they're not new. We've got, I think we've got a modded one, and there might be the saddle track pack version as well. We can activate double application if you want to as well. Yeah, activate double application rate, which will get both fertilising states done in one go, unless you're running precision farming, in which case you don't need to do it anyway because it will just put on one as long as you've got it on automatic application. So then the saddle track version, I do like the oomph of the bigger Claas Xerion, but there's something about the saddle track, especially this connecting, you know, that's a very neat package, that. I've just realised something. In my excitement to get out onto the field, I didn't put anything in it. Bear with me a second. While we're driving out, we do have the same options for raising and lowering of that, folding and extending. Okay, 28,000 litres. I do like the way with tankers and stuff when you fill them up, where they sit down on the suspension. You can see the deformation on those rear tyres with the weight in there. Again, it's another one of those features where, you know, you kind of get to the point you start taking it for granted, but that tyre deformation is brilliant. Got Stroughton back on this one. Like I said, nice tight turn. And the back grounding himself again. Awesome! So that's the Samson SG TGX by Smety, which brings me on to the last of the mods for today. And it's these. We do have a map today, which I hopefully will get onto as soon as I can. Oceanside Forest by Carl TG and Pixel Farms. But we have in front of us the International 46 Series Pack by WOLFex Modding and WhiteBull Modding. 15.07 megabytes download. These are 9 slots each. There's the 4-wheel drive version and there's the 2-wheel drive version. What's nice about these is they go up to 150 horsepower and the price nice and cheap. So you can get a good, I mean, a serious amount of horsepower for the price, I think. Again, nicely made and detailed mods. So you'll find these under vehicles and small tractors. We'll start with the 2-wheel drive, then we'll go on to the 4-wheel drive. Like I said, slot count is 9 on both, but it comes down to 1. So the 2-wheel drive option, we've got the 946 old decal and new decal, 85 horsepower. Then we've got the 1046 old decal and new decal, 100 horsepower. The 1246 old and new decal, 122 horsepower. And the 1246 turbo, old and new decal, 150 horsepower. So even if you have the 150 horsepower, 30,900. If you could leave it in this basic configuration. Then we've got tyre options. Front attachment, we've got none. Weight holder, weight, front hydraulic, which again I think makes it incredibly versatile. With 150 horsepower, front and rear 3-point link, and the price, brilliant. Or back to none. Then we've got configuration, cabin, wider fenders, mirrors, no cabin, wider fenders. So that's with your squared off. Then you've got your clamshells, fenders with wides, roll bar, back to cabin again. So I do like that look, the clamshell. And then we've got rim colour option on this one with sort of the cream, grey or black. And then we go to the 4-wheel drive. Options are pretty much the same. There's a few more. I say there's a few more tyre options. The tyre options are the same. It's just you've got them on all 4 wheels. So again, same horsepowers. Old and new decals. We go through our 85 horsepower, 100 horsepower, 122, 150, back to 85. So that one comes at 33,850 for the 4-wheel drive version, which again, cheap as chips. Tyre options. Same with attachments. Cabin options the same. And there you go. So we'll hop on this one. So this is the 4-wheel drive without cabin. I did wonder if the scale was off a little bit. I mean, I don't know. The tractor seems very, but I've never seen one of these in real life, so to speak. I suppose the 1246 would be. It's a big old beastie. But I like it. Like I say, horsepower and price. 3-point link front and rear if you want it. 26 mile an hour. What's not to like? So the options are the same on the 4-wheel drive and the 2-wheel drive if you've gone for a cabin. So because you didn't give you the option for beacons and stuff like that, the lights and beacons are the same, but we do also have, if you've gone for the cabin, under L1 R1 right stick side to side does the left door, right stick up and down does the rear window. So that's the same on the cabs. Beacons and lights. There there you go. The International 46 Series Pack by WOLFex Modding and WhiteBull Modding. That's it for the mods for Thursday the 1st of June. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.